you have a very strong rotation here. Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Jordan Montgomery. When Eduardo Rodriguez started having the issue with his lat, I was saying, I don't know. I don't really think the Diamondbacks really make like the most sense in my opinion. I mean, sure, it wouldn't hurt to add Jordan Montgomery. I mean, of course, that would be a great addition, but it's just, hey, good for the Diamondbacks for going out there and spending some money. Because the Dbacks, years past, they haven't been the ones to really go out there and go drop some money, but they had themselves a great offseason. I mean, when you really go look at everything they've done, looking at all the free agents they brought in, obviously Eduardo Rodriguez was the big one. You brought back Lourdes Gurriel Jr., you brought in Jock Peterson, and then you even made the trade as well for Eugenio Suarez, and all of a sudden, this Diamondbacks team, just coming off of a World Series appearance, they're looking very strong, and, get back to the postseason again. Why couldn't it make another run? I wondered if the Diamondbacks could create that same magic again with just Gallen and Kelly again, and then see what Fott can do in year two. But with Erod and Montgomery in the fold now, this Diamondbacks team is looking very strong and looking very durable for the regular season. And I think you have to imagine here that the Diamondbacks are going to be in a strong position to easily get one of the wild card spots here. I mean, barely getting a wild card last year, and we saw what happened after that. And now, I mean, I don't see why they couldn't get the first wild card, at least the second. Right? Montgomery is a guy, we all know exactly what he brings to the table. He's going to bring durability, consistency. You're going to see an ERA, mid-threes, FIP around the same as well. Guy that's going to get you a few strikeouts, but he's going to pitch a little bit more to contact, going to get you some ground balls, fly balls as well. But a guy that you just like to have that kind of a guy in your rotation. A lefty. Hey, never hurts to have a lefty as well. So I really like this move for the Diamondbacks. I could sit here and complain and make this all about the Red Sox, but listen, this is great for the D-backs, and this is great for the Diamondbacks fans. I love the dedication that this Diamondbacks team and organization is putting into this year after coming off that World Series. New jerseys, got some new colors in there as well. It looks like they're trying to build this new culture, and they're really trying to, plant their flag. A lot, even you see a lot of people even now where, hey, coming off a World Series, people wonder like, oh, is this Diamondbacks team, can they do it again? Can they make this run again? Or maybe they'll take a step back possibly. Can they get past the Braves? Can they get past the Phillies? Dodgers, that's a big question, or that was a question. But now, the fact that you can get through this regular season again, because, listen, to the Diamondbacks, they got to the playoffs, right? I would actually say, no disrespect to that 7-game series that they had, but they barely got in. They weren't even in the playoff picture, towards the end of the season at one point. They had to really fight to get themselves in there. So I think with this add, Erod, I think that's just huge. And then as they showed you last year, if you get in, anything can happen, right? But Jordan Montgomery showed you what he can do in the postseason last year. He stepped up in a big way. He really solidified himself as a big game pitcher. Look at what he did for the Rangers in that postseason, going up against the Astros and just setting them down left and right, pitching well in the World Series against the Diamondbacks, funny enough. So it kind of just makes me wonder what happened to the market, though. What ended up happening here? This was honestly one of the more strange outcomes, in my opinion. Like, I did not see this happening. But remember what I said a couple of nights ago? We started hearing some rumblings, Sunday, from Bob Nightingale, basically saying, hey, this is starting to get some news on Montgomery here. Remember I said the same thing about Blake Snell the week prior. You started seeing some details come out about Blake Snell, And then a day later, he ends up signing. And the same thing kind of happened here. It took a couple of days after we saw some reports where we saw Montgomery, the Phillies were discussing him. So, that's kind of how I expected it to happen. And another thing I was also pondering with Jordan Montgomery was he going to wait until after opening day? And now that he is signed before opening day, he is going to be eligible for the qualifying offer. And that was something I was wondering. Would he wait past that point so that way he doesn't get the qualifying offer, maybe takes like a 1-year deal with or a 2-year with an opt-out or something and ends up going back out into the market next year? Because there's times where if you have the QO attached to you, that maybe that hurts your market a little bit, right? Because maybe teams aren't really willing to, give up a draft pick, right? But then you could see some benefits of a qualifying offer as well, where if something ends up happening, right, or maybe you didn't have quite the season you wanted, but it was good enough to get the QO, then you can just take it, right? So there are some benefits of it, but I could see a situation where Montgomery maybe didn't want to have it. So in the end, he will be eligible for the qualifying offer. So I just wonder what happened here to his market. And again, I'm still very confused about this vesting option. It's kind of, it's throwing me off a little bit. Again, it's a 1-year, $25 million guaranteed. And then the vesting option. Oh, wait, so he needs 23 starts in 2024. Oh, okay. So someone had put 10. So, let me see. Hold on. Here we go. So, Bob Nightingale puts Montgomery is guaranteed $45 million if he starts 10 games in 2024 and $50 million if he makes 23 starts. So, okay, so there's a couple of vesting options here. So he gets a $20 million option if he only makes 10 starts. Oh, I see what it's saying. So no matter what, the option vests if he just makes at least 10, but it can be more if he ends up making the 18 starts, and then he gets more if it ends up being 23. So, okay. All right. Well, that makes a little bit more sense. I can understand that. I'm just very curious where I kind of thought, like, I don't know, like I would think, why not just have the vesting option for like 20 starts, right? Or make it for the 23. So they're basically saying here, in my opinion, with this, even if he misses a month, right, he's probably going to miss 3 to 4 starts, right? So he's definitely going to have to push it at that point, right? He's not going to be able to miss any time at all if he wants to max out here. So it says here, Bob Nightingale has something else here for us. We have 400 people in the chat. Everyone, if you can, hit that like button for us. That would greatly help. Jordan Montgomery can also opt out of his contract after the season with the Dbacks if his contract vests, making 10 starts. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I'm just like, huh? So, okay. So now it's basically an opt-out. We'll see. I mean, okay, so I take back basically what I was saying before about, if he's hurt or anything. Because I didn't see this earlier. There was no news about an opt-out. That makes a little bit more sense. So, he's going to probably make his 23 starts this year. He's going to max out on that vesting option. But then he'll have the choice of whether or not he can opt out, or he ends up staying for another year and then takes what was it again? It would end up being $25 million. So my guess is that he is going to end up probably opting out. I would think that's what's going to happen. This is a pillow contract. Same thing happened with Blake Snell. Same thing happened with Bellinger. I don't know. I think Scott Boras really did not help these guys, right? Look at Cody Bellinger. Look at the Blake Snell situation, look at this situation. This is bad. This is bad across the board. Like this is not good for these guys, in my opinion. I don't like seeing this. I don't like seeing these opt-out kind of deals. Like, I miss the old days when a guy would go sign, 5, 6, 7 years with a team, and you knew that was going to be his team at least for a little while, and then they end up trading him or something, right? I hate these opt-out deals, but at least we're going to have some, a more eventful offseason possibly next year where, you have the opt-out with Snell. You have it with Montgomery now, Bellinger. So it's going to be interesting. All right, but overall, this is a great move for the Diamondbacks. This is going to be great for them this year. And it's funny because we just saw their name pop up recently with these rumors. And here you are, and there you go. It seems like they entered competition for his services pretty late, and they said, all right, we'll make a deal happen here. But it makes me just wonder, what was happening here with these other teams? I guess you got to think from the Phillies' point of view, the Yankees' point of view, their payrolls are already pretty high, right? Their luxury taxes are going to be pretty high if you end up signing Jordan Montgomery, right? For the Yankees, you'd be paying 110%. So they would have been paying, $30 million for extra for Jordan Montgomery on top of his salary. So I can understand why Jordan Montgomery wouldn't go there. I saw a guy today, one of the Yankee people on Twitter. There are some good Yankee fans out there on Twitter, but there's one, and I saw this take, and I'm like, my goodness, what are you talking about? I saw someone saying, like, oh, the Yankees, they need to go make this move. Bring him home. It's like, listen, you're not signing Jordan Montgomery if you're the Yankees for $25 million. You're going to end up signing him basically for like $50 million for 1 year, over $50 million for 1 year. It's like, is that really financially like a great, I get it. You're already spending so much on your payroll as it is, but are you willing to spend $50 million for 1 year of Jordan Montgomery? I don't know. It doesn't sound all that great for me. And the Phillies, right? They were going to have to definitely pay some luxury taxes too, not as much as the Yankees, but I could see from their point of view. I was wondering if the Cubs were going to be involved here. I was wondering, maybe the Rangers get back in it. And let's talk about my Red Sox. Let's talk about it. I don't know what to think here. He made so much sense for them. He made so much sense, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I get it. I've been around this game now. Well, I'm not around the game closely, but, watching from afar as a fan and, been a Red Sox fan for over 25 years now. And it's disappointing, right? You want to go out there and you want to try and put your best team on the field, and they were keeping in contact, and it just makes me think, what were they even offering him? What were they offering, like $15 million for 1 year? 18, 20 max? I mean, they couldn't do 25? I don't know. I think what ended up happening with the Red Sox, I don't know. Maybe it was just a timing thing. Maybe he was looking for the long-term deal, but then again, it makes me wonder, why didn't they do the short? But I can also understand maybe they were at a point where they're like, you know what? We have our team. We have our organization set. We're going to see what we have this year. And now it's pretty much official. The Red Sox, they are going into an evaluation kind of a year. Craig Breslow, first year as the president of baseball operations, first year with Andrew Bailey leading the pitching staff. This is what it is for the Red Sox this year. It is an evaluation kind of a year. Let's see what they have within the organization. And I will say this, Red Sox fans, I know you're probably feeling pretty down right now. What I will say is this, and maybe this is the bias in me, maybe this is the giraffe neck Robbie in me, but I actually think this could end up being a good sign for the future, because this is what I think is happening. Like I said, I think they're going to be looking at everything within the organization this year. I think they're going to be basically revamping this pitching staff, right? Not just from a player point of view, but from a coaching staff point of view, their player development, right? The Red Sox, They're trying new things this year, and they're going to basically see what they have within the organization. I think this is actually a good sign for next offseason. Maybe that's me being a bit too hopeful, but that just makes me wonder, once they figure out what they do have this year and what guys that they're going to be going with in the future after this year, makes me wonder, can they go after someone like Corbin Burns next year? Can they revisit Jordan Montgomery again? Maybe see what's going on with Blake Snell. It makes me wonder, once the Red Sox know what they have, they'll have a better idea of what's going on within their organization from a pitching point of view, and that's when they can go be aggressive. So maybe I'm being a little hopeful there. Maybe that's me being silly. But I do think it's going to end up being positive. I think this is a sign that the Red Sox will be more aggressive next offseason. That's what I think. And who knows? Maybe at the deadline, if they're in it, right? They were in it last year in the wild card picture. Let's say they're in it again. Maybe they go make a trade for a guy. I don't know. But in the end, I think the Red Sox, they want it to be strictly just disciplined. And Craig Breslow said that himself. And I wanted to believe that the Red Sox were going to do something. I wanted to believe that they were going to wait out and they were going to wait for the best possible opportunity to, land Montgomery. He was perfect to me. He made so much sense, but in the end, the Red Sox ownership, they had an idea of what they wanted to do when it came to money, and they want to budge from that. I think for the Red Sox, they got some good young talent in the minor leagues that aren't quite there yet. Maybe when they are there, then we'll see that kind of a push for a guy. Maybe Corbin Burns next offseason. Hey, Corbin Burns, he's going to be pitching at Fenway this year as a member of the Orioles. Hey, maybe Corbin Burns likes his time at Fenway Park. I don't know. We'll see. But, Red Sox fans, I know. I'm down too. I'm down. This was one guy I really wanted this offseason. This was one guy I wanted to land. And it is what it is, right? So, Red Sox fans, hey, we know what we have now. Let's just go out there and just try and enjoy the season as much as we can. But for the Diamondbacks, hey, go enjoy your season. This should be a solid team, right? Another solid team that can make another push for a World Series. I think the Phillies would have been really interesting. I think Montgomery made a lot of sense for them. I feel like they needed that other piece behind Nola and Wheeler, but they must feel comfortable that they can run it back and go for it again, right? With the same team, basically. And who knows? Maybe the Phillies end up just making a trade at the deadline. We'll see. But the Arizona Diamondbacks right now, they are very strong in this rotation. Obviously, Montgomery is not listed here as of right now, so this guy is basically going to go to the minors for the first month of the season. Going to get himself probably a few starts down there, get himself ramped up. That'll be his spring training, basically. And I like this move for the Diamondbacks. I know there's obviously the whole situation, with his wife and everything being in Boston. So I guess that's something that they figured out. But it is what it is. He's a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks right now. I think this makes them they were already a legit contender in the National League. Now this makes them very legitimate. A strong rotation. A bullpen, I think, could use another piece, but they got some talented arms in here. Seawald, right, went down, so I wonder if they are going to, he went down with the obliques, so it'd be interesting to see how they balance the bullpen, at least in the early going. It would be helpful if they had Montgomery at this point with Seawald on the IL to start the year, but they'll have to figure it out. Lineup, if these guys just stay injury-free, this lineup is full of talent. Hey, good move. I take that back. Great move, right? They get him for 1 year. It's like you know what? If your payroll is this low, why not? And I'll talk about one more team. I'm actually surprised that the Orioles didn't end up going for it, right? They're going to be going through the ownership change reportedly this week. That could end up getting finalized. And, it would have been nice for the Orioles maybe to go land this guy. I will say, though, what makes it a little better for me as a Red Sox fan is he's not going to be in the division, and he's not going to be in the American League. You know, if I had to see Jordan Montgomery, you know, pitching for the Orioles and pitching for the Yankees or whatever and coming to Fenway, oh, that would drive me nuts, dude. Drive me nuts. But in the end, most likely he will end up being a free agent again next offseason. He's going to have to try it out again. Listen, everyone, I wonder, you know, keep an eye out at some point in the first few months of the season. Do they stay with Scott Boras, Montgomery, Bellinger, even Chapman, right? I forgot about Chapman as well, and Blake Snell. You know, could we maybe see a switch in agents at some point this year? Because, I mean, but Montgomery basically got a 1-year, $25 million deal. I mean, I highly doubt that he's going to opt in for next year, because it's like, why would he waste another season? I don't see that happening. All right, I expect him to opt out after this year, go back out into the market next year. And if that's the case, I mean, you got some great pitching. If Snell goes back out on the market next year, I mean, I'm just saying. Just wanted to make sure. Snell does have the opt-out after this year, I believe. All right, yeah, he has the player option. Yeah, so he can opt out too. So this free agent market in 2025, I mean, you're going to have Corbin Burns. You're going to have Max Fried. Now you got Montgomery and probably Snell again. Got some good pitching next offseason. So, everyone, overall, I think it's a great move. But while I'm here, everyone, just want to go look at some odds for BetUS. So, if we go look at the Arizona Diamondbacks right now, let's go see what their chances are for the playoffs, and let's go see what their over-unders are for their wins. So let's actually pull this up here. So the link is in the description down below for BetUS. Right now, they have a great deal going. Use the code JOIN125, and you'll get a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits. Not a bad deal if you ask me. So as of right now, the Diamondbacks on BetUS, their over-under for wins is 83.5. I mean, I think this is an absolute slam dunk. You should absolutely go to BetUS right now. Yeah, you're going to have to do the under here at minus 125. So if you bet 50, your winnings would be 40. Actually, you can even go, so the limit is 50, right? So actually, no, you can go, it says you can go 60. So if you go throw down $60 right now for the over, I mean, you're going to end up winning yourself, 48. So not bad. I think that's a pretty, honestly, I think this Diamondbacks team easily gets over. And right now, to make the playoffs, it is even. So if I ended up doing, let's say, the 60, right? So yeah, I mean, it's not bad, right? You bet 50, well, then you end up, you win the 50, right? So I would say the over-under for the wins is definitely, who knows? Especially with the wild cards, who knows how things could end up shaking up. I think they're a pretty good bet to make the playoffs at this point with him in the fold. But absolutely, they're going to get 83 wins. Absolutely. I think they're going to end up getting somewhere closer to 90 at this point. But definitely go check out BetUS. Again, the link is in the description down below. And also right now, if they have a deal going right now, if you go sign up for BetUS and you go take a screenshot, just find me on Twitter, message me the screenshot of you signing up, and then you end up getting a free $25 because I'll send that screenshot to BetUS, and then you end up getting a $25 deposit for free, right? No strings attached. You end up getting $25. So go sign up, take a screenshot, send it to me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and then you get a free $25. So, and again, don't forget about the deal. Link is in the description down below. Everyone, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to wrap this up here. I got a video that I was going to post, and I was doing my off-season grades. And, now I got to go readjust the Diamondbacks part. So I'm going to go work on that. Everyone, thank you so much. And everyone, we will be live tomorrow night I am going to be doing my night before opening day power rankings. We're not going to do power rankings officially until around May. I usually don't like to do the power rankings the first month because I like to let things breathe. But tomorrow night, we will be doing a special night before opening day power rankings. Be here live, probably around 9:30, 10 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you tune in for that. Everyone, thanks for stopping by tonight. Greatly appreciate it. If you can on the way out, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. Share the show for anyone that didn't catch us live. And make sure that bell is turned on. You'll never know when I go live. Honestly, at this point, I think I'm done going live. I think we have all the big names pretty much. I don't think I'm going to go live when Tommy Pham signs. Sorry, no offense to Tommy Pham. But the last guy is off the board. Finally. I can't believe it. I'm pretty sad, honestly. But you know what? I've been through a lot as a Red Sox fan. I'll be okay. Good move for the Diamondbacks. Everyone, have yourself a good rest of your night. Look out for an upload in a little bit. I'm going to be posting my off-season grades, so stay tuned for that. Everyone, I'll talk to you next time.